Hi, everyone. How's everybody doing? Metaphysical Mama, welcome, welcome. Elephant in the room. And I left these cards out. I actually pulled these yesterday, but I wanted to share with you. I was excited to leave them out, so I am doing so. I didn't read them, but pretty self-explanatory. So we have the dragon's eye. We have the black egg, and the phoenix was just peeping out underneath it. So it's like we're going into the dark, into the subconscious collectively. Collective. And welcome, welcome, collective. Just to introduce myself a tad, Metaphysical Mama. Going to bring a lot of messages in from the collective that I channel and perceive through energy, right, from the divine. So I read energy, right? Energy never lies, people do, and we don't always mean to. It's just how it goes. So going through the depths of consciousness and unconsciousness and subconsciousness and the collective unconsciousness where things haven't really, right? They haven't been born yet. They're just sitting, hanging out like eggs, right? Waiting to be, right, discovered. So, but that doesn't mean that we intrude upon them. We allow them naturally to open up within us, right? This is inner master twin flame alchemy. So it's allowing the process to occur naturally, not forcing and digging and prying and making and manipulating. There's right way different energy, and that won't last. If someone's been those that are going that way, right? It's like Saddam and Gomorrah and Gog and Magog and right, Lot's wife from the Bible, and right, we got lots of Jezebel, incubus, succubus, replicating, mimicking, echoing, impersonating, shoe wearing others. So again, addressing the elephant in the room, and then to get into like the actual, like what's going on in the world currently, current events, right? We have the virus, and which goes into how many different stories and narratives. It's like everybody should, right? This story's old. And even relate it to, like Rudolph and the Red-Nosed Reindeer, right? Any issue in society or anywhere stems and originates from either a jealous, envious thought or feeling coming from person, place, or thing, right? Or from, again, still stemming from such natures, someone trying to manipulate things or avoid things in order to, right, have the turnout go in their favor. So it's just gambling. It's just addictive behavior, no matter what way we cut it or slice it. If you get to the root origin of any of these issues that are going on in our world today, right, where do they stem from? Somebody is jealous, right? Someone, somewhere has a vendetta because of, right, self-righteousness and ego. Right, these ugly green monsters, right? A little bit of the green candle here left. Right, green-eyed giant, which is way different, the color of money, green. They say, the term root, the money is the root of all evil, right? Same with the apple in the garden. The apple just represents temptation. So whatever that represents to, right, you personally or whoever else, right? I mean, again, this is collective. So, right, but we need to worry about our own internal journey. right? Elephants never forget. So interesting with like a Cthulhu face with elephant, the elephant face with Cthulhu yesterday, all the trunks, and it's old Brahma, all ancient, right, different philosophies, Eastern and Western philosophy, different mythologies, different gods and deities, and but they're really all the same also. They're just different names and interpretations, right? Different levels and parts of consciousness that are developed with different beings. And a deity, that word, that's never what's the word? Like somebody else can't take the place of a specific deity. That doesn't get like changed or altered. Other deities are certain, right, realms of consciousness and entities that are attached to the elemental consciousness, right, that was born within that bubble. So there's certain deities that carry, right, these specific traits. They're not interchangeable. Like you can, right? However, that's kind of tricky as I'm saying that though, because then at the same time, right, specific deities multiply into numerous other deities and names of such natures, right? Because as anyone travels through space and time and goes through the developing of consciousness, right, things are going to change and become altered. One's going to learn and grow and discover more of oneself and bloom into awareness so that, right, hopefully one doesn't continue to repeat certain negative aspects that are harmful to self and others, but it's a learning process throughout time and space. But as we graduate through different, right, bubbles of consciousness, it's like you get reborn, right? That negative energy that's been being right acted out in then, right, kind of dies and a new part of that being is born, right? So Christ consciousness is when we develop 144,000 consciousnesses, right? That's a lot of, right, negative picture frames, a lot of things to go through and that need to, right, come into fruition, be acknowledged, have experience in, right, those vibrational frequencies, right, different thoughts and feelings that we all experience. So we have to go through different situations in life, etc., experiences in order to gain these parts of ourselves, right, which may apply, right, the birthing and growth of our souls, right, from inside. And in order to do that, we have to connect with spirit. We have to connect with our dark side, right? We have to balance out our polarities, right? We have to allow spirit in and acknowledge our emotions. If we're ignoring the feminine, right, this is an ongoing thing, right? I mean, just think in general, right? Like how long have, right, women have babies, men like women, right? This is just on a basic, right? Like, right, men sees woman, likes woman, wants to have sex with woman, wants to have baby with woman. And even in the Victorian age, now I'm jumping way ahead, different timelines, right? So, but like Victorian age, how many different lifelines, timelines do we go down where mothers and children are left, or right, men are sleeping with women, but then women that were out of wedlock didn't get respected. What happened to the children, those women and children? And then they would sell them. A whole big, right, human trafficking ring from the beginning, child trafficking. So lust, out of lust, desire, envy, right? I want that what's greener. I want that one. I want to pick one. I want to pick one. I want another one. Now there's babies everywhere. Well, now what? Sons. Eve was too pretty. Didn't know how to say no, which is the big thing too, right? Not knowing how to say no. Or when we do say no, is that accepted? You know, look what they're trying to do with the vaccine right now. Like, what? We're not allowed to say no? You're going to force rape us? You're gonna do it anyway. You're gonna make it. You're gonna make us. Forced rape with a smile for your own benefit. It's for your own good, though. That's what I guess any molester would say. You know. So again, getting into the traits of humanity, and the ugliness that we're dealing with today, the elephant in the room, the green-eyed monster. Lots of monsters are born due to the nature of what are we feeding, right? As we the people, each individual has to take responsibility for, right, going on their inner journey and allowing these skills and new parts of self that have been, right, sleeping with the dragon, right, sleeping dragon, the black cosmic egg, right? And like 9/11, never forget. Elephant never forgets, right? A lot of us can't remember shit because we're not supposed to hold on and retain all that information. Man wants answers and wants to have the facts and this and that. That's ego coming in, and right, which is representation of the devil, the ego, right? These are the devil's sons, Satan and the devil's sons, the sons of Belial, or Draconian, right? We get into Draconian and Palladian, right? Ones that made the deals with the capital gangster G's, which isn't all of them, right? There's always good and bad and indifferent in all, right? Nationalities and families and all places, right? How many people judge, right, skin by its color, right? Judge a book by its cover. How many assume that they know their nationality due to the color of their skin that they're in? Or have they gone through their past lives to get to their star seed origins? Right. So why again? This is like I watched the movie Abigail yesterday, which is like a steampunk movie, but it's like so many others with there's a pandemic or there's some kind of, right, virus or some kind of um epidemic going on where, right, people get singled out, and why? There's always a jealous son or a jealous uncle or father or, right, biatch. They gotta step all over everybody else's toes, or do something to fuck shit up for other people because they don't want whatever out, kind of misery love company, right? The old saying. So instead of them doing the work, because they have that inside of them too, but they're so busy worrying about what everybody else has, right? Aren't we we're in like this huge world of buying and selling and trading, whether it's, look, meet people. How many marriages do you know that work out like on a real? And I'm not just even talking like that, the ones that are faking it, right? Like, how many people like are happy together in their situations that they've, right, in their job, in their family? How many stray from their family and still smile, right? Like, oh yeah, la la la, right? Lie, 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 lie. Keeping up a facade, wearing a mask. Why? The elephant in the room again, because people don't want to deal with their emotional baggage and what's really going on inside, or what's going on, right, in our childhoods or past lives. Our inner childs need to be tended to like a garden does. But we all know how that goes here too, right? Everybody wants to spray things with chemicals, rush the process of growth. If they don't like what they see, they just rip it from the roots and pretend they don't know what happened and plant another tree. The story of, right, Lilith and Adam and Eve. Oh, I have an idea. We can just like knock that one out the box, right? And we'll just make another one in their place. And then we'll call it, the new face. I have an idea. We can make it in the image of. Sound familiar? Fits like a glove. Yeah, except it don't work the same. That's why everybody's like, we're in the land of confusion. Fifth dimension is not the same as fourth, sixth, and ninth, right? And seventh, 7, 8, 9, right? Today's a 9 day, right? Like octopus number, like Cthulhu. So today is right. There's like lots of different symbolisms and um, numerology and what have you, etymology, vibration, right? So everything, right? Like Tesla said, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of frequency, sound, and vibration, right? So how would we heal, right? Universe means one. If the universe is mental, right? Mars is called the Mad King. So if one is using their mental intellect, which is different than going through and exploring the mind and ignoring their intuition and emotional body, which is really Lilith and Eve, right? To go, right? Fuck all the daughters. The fallen ones coming into the daughters of men. Eve is mother of the living, right? So if right, that son didn't like what, right? He didn't get his way, he'd just kill you and make another one. And that's the price you pay, right? And that's why we in this reincarnation cycle, this time loop over and over and over, right? Until, right, today, until now, because the time is always now. And right now, we're doing that let there be light shit. We're going to shine light on that shit. All of it. Whatever needs to be seen, right? So expectations, right? Things of the mental state and ignoring intuition and the emotional body, which is way different than indulging in desire and lust in order to feed the mental state in the gut, right? This is the virus of the crown, right? Corona is the ring around the sun, and it's also the crown, right? Aurora borealis, right? There's a southern and a northern crown in the constellations in the sky. If you right look into the right, that's none of it's really important to right. Those are the oldest sayings before anything was written in any book by any man. Right, everything was verbally passed down through vibration. And still is. That's like how we are, right? How we all, joining together in the collective, right? As long as you don't get too distracted by, like, right, what's on TV. They try to put a lot of things on mainstream in order to distract and pull you away from what you need to be paying attention to, which is the internal you, right? Your interdimensional self, so that you're able, right, to birth those demons, right? Solomon has control over, right? Lesser keys of Solomon and greater keys of Solomon. There's 72 demons, 72 keys, right? 72, 27 club, flip flop the numbers, also number 9 again. So interdimensional, right? What goes on within the body, within self, the birthing process, all the alchemical process, the biological process, right? Everything within, interdimensional, right? Those are keys of Solomon, the sun and the moon, right? The crown, the mind, right? The mental, the crown, the king, right? Of self. And then, right, got a gut instinct, right? Our brain and our stomach are constantly talking. just like the solar plexus and the crown chakra, or the gut and the crown, right? The mental faculties. And there's more than one atom, right? There's a positive and a negative and a variable. 3, right? 3 Satan seeds. Or in any of us, right? It's just, again, black, white, and gray. Variable as magnet, positive and negative, right? North pole, south pole, and what bounces in between the poles. It can go a whole bunch of different ways, right? And Solomon also, right? Then go into that's all Archangel, also Archangel Metatron, right? Enoch, many names, right? Thrice great. Gilgamesh, 2/3 man, 1/3, 2/3 God, 1/3 man. Right, that's part of the physics equation, right? We have, right, 1, 2, and 3 tiers, right? 33, 33, 33, plus the 1, right? 0.1, like 99%. Right, so we go through different levels. Some have started here, some have started here, some have started here, some are on the outside, some are on the inside, right? So we all have to experience the other part, all these other parts of self in order to have, the goal is balance. Whoa, that is hysterical. I didn't even touch it, it's falling on. But yeah, balance is the goal. Knock at the door. Pardon me. What? Oh, I just have like, I'm on the thingy here. Well, so my daughter just came to visit, but I'm gonna come pop back on. And look, it's 111 and it's 111. Today's January 11th and it's 111, you little cutie. 111. So yeah, I'm gonna come back though, because this is important. The elephant in the room. We're doing the elephant in the room. And like, what was this from? Oh, this is today's paper. US sees mental health crisis, right? Regular folks recognize rise in anxiety, depression. And it's just going into, again, like, right, why is there such a mental health crisis? You know, everybody's been trying to, right, everyone's been ignoring the emotional body and the spiritual body, and just, right, like, goes about unconsciously, right, we think we have to do so much that's so important. But what's important is that we tend to our spiritual, right? We listen to spirit and listen to our intuition and allow those things to bloom inside of us so that the mental faculties can have a rest, so we don't have the mad king, so much mental illness, right? Those running around with the fiery head and pointing fingers, right? Saying, you, right? Instead, we have to come from that position of, right, I come from within our own skin, more of a balanced position. You can't take a pill or a shot or, right, keep avoiding something, right? Again, the monster, and that, every light has a shadow. We can't avoid the shadows or the shit that's gotten left behind, because that's the true core issue of the problem, right? Not dealing with the shit that needs to be dealt with. We can't make another we can't, there's not another deal or something you just take to make it go away and make pretend it's not what it is, right? Which is envy and jealousy and gluttony and greed, and coming from that place, that's never gonna work. We'll never succeed. Oh, you will. Yeah, I got a little something going on this weekend. I was just saying to my daughter, she is. I was gonna say, God, I'm glad she didn't come because I'm all like yesterday. I really just I couldn't even like move. So I don't know if any of you are all feeling that too. Yeah, like freezing. I don't feel like I'm like, COVID. I just feel like flu. I just feel like I'm just like, yeah, my like in my inner ears are all vibrating. And this is big ascension symptoms too. We're going through big change. So again, it's like I don't look at all that label. I don't label, like, oh, it's this. It's like if I'm not feeling good, I just know I gotta take care of myself. I gotta take it easy. I gotta drink more tea. Which is another big important question. How often do people care about themselves at that frequency? Like, I mean, I do every day anyhow. I don't really eat shitty food. And like, I mean, I care about what I put in my body or what vibrations I'm around. I don't like to be around things that are going to make me feel not good. So, but sometimes, right, like I'll indulge and eat like pizza or ice cream cake. But I know, right, there's a price to pay. I'm like, I might have a little stomach ache maybe. Right? So I don't do it often. I don't eat a lot of sugar because I know the effects it has on me. But when you're sick, when people are sick, it's like, oh, I got to go to the doctor. Oh, I got to do this. I got to do that. It's like, but wait, why aren't you taking care of yourself all the time like that? Right? Like we have to care about what we put in our bodies all the time. I love you so much. Is Eva home too? She is? Oh, I'll call her. I love you guys so much. Oh boy. Well, that's funny. We both got it and we didn't even see each other. I love you so much. I'm so happy to see you. I was going to call you. Yeah. I love you. Sorry, guys. Real life, Sorry, not sorry. I love when my daughter comes and you guys are here. Yeah. So I guess I don't have to stop the video. It was a quick visit. I wanted to give her, due attention. So, but let's see. So, yeah, getting into the mental health part, which is really big and a lot. It's really important that where is our focus? And how do we get there, right? How do we change, right? A thought, move a direction. Change a thought, move a direction. Energy goes where thought goes. And how about your thoughts are not your own? It's like I heard a saying earlier, it's like, right, thoughts are like walking through the forest and hearing birds in the trees, right? And whatever else is in the forest. That's what thoughts are, right? So they don't belong to, they're constantly traveling around and through everything. They're all over the place. They come spilling out of each and every one of us. That's what makes up the world. The world is a different thing than the earth. Right? If you're living, and you're a human, it's like, oh wait, I have an idea. I can change my mind and decide I want to do this instead. Power of Eve, power of knowledge. Right. I don't have to do what they told me to. I can do whatever I want. I can sneak this away and pretend like I didn't do that. Of course you can. You have free will to do that. But in the end, you're going to pay because it was seen in the garden. Right. Supreme consciousness and like the inner knowing of the vibration of truth and resonance, right, trumps anything anyone is trying to do with their feelings or their thoughts or their intellect in order to twist, turn, and change it. Does it work for a certain amount of time? Sure, of course. And have they continued to manipulate it by continuing to like go around and around and around? It's like the square wheel. Right? They're just gonna keep turning it and keep turning it, and they're not gonna let go because yeah, they just want to. They just want it. They're not gonna, yeah, right. But what does that represent? Again, it's like when we're teenagers or when we're younger and we're like, nope, I'm not listening. Or again, like just a deceitful, again, it's just deceit. Right. Which comes from what? Not feeling good enough. Doesn't come from actually feeling so almighty powerful and like, oh yeah, I'm great, the great and powerful us. No, it comes from feeling like shit about yourself. And now you got to go get a gang and a team or a gaggle or a coven or whatever the fuck you want to call yourselves, a cult, right? You got to get people to, you got to go talk shit and you got to get people to come on your side in order to come get us all because you're so mad, right? But then when we ask you what's up, you all say nothing or you run and hide. So, I don't know, whatever. Let's see. Also, I opened the Bible up and it's like I got a whole bunch of books open here. I got Eastern Body, Western Mind opened. I have my Atlantis book open, and I opened the Bible yesterday to Job. Eliphaz accuses Job, or yeah, Eliphaz, is that how you say it? Or it's just like elephant. That's kind of funny. I didn't even notice that. Oh, that's really funny. So I'm thinking that I think, yeah, Spirit really wants me to read this. Now, this also has to do with Job's response and Job's final speech. So I'm in Job, well, it's 22, 23. Yesterday, I got guided to, yeah, Job's response. So I'm gonna actually, hold on a sec. And please like, subscribe, and ding a little belly bell if you'd be so kind. Appreciate that. Helps us grow, spread our little seeds. Wings out. Don't forget, dragon babies. And they keep trying to poke sleeping dragons or steal dragons' gold. Again, it's just part of man's disease as usual, right? Man's disease is gold, lust. And then they say, in God we trust. Yeah, okay. But that's all part of, right? Like, again, Eddie, we all have a certain level of temptation, lust, or we say fuck it, where we get mad, where we've gone through. That's part of what life is, okay? There's a big difference in, being willing to be accountable or going through shit. And once, usually sometimes it takes a while to hit rock bottom. But people can't bounce up until they do hit rock bottom. I know that for sure too. That's a fact. That's why you have to sometimes you have to allow people to fall, right? With best intentions, the road to hell is paved. So if we try to right, oh, but da 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 da, too much, too much. Sometimes, right? Yep, learning how to let go and have faith is really hard. However, it's one of the best remedies and medicines there is. It's one of the strongest healing powers that there is because we're trusting ourselves, we're trusting God. It doesn't mean just, oh, fuck, whatever, da 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 da. No, this means learning to have discernment. I heard something the other day too about like they were talking about like I think Thurman and Emin, Thurman and Emin, and they didn't understand. Like I'm not even pronouncing it right. I know I have it written down somewhere else, but something in the Bible at that. But that has to again that has to do with opening the heart chakra. And right now, most people's heart is right calloused. So it's like wearing a big backpack on your back. It's hidden in the back. So bringing the two thumbs together at the center of the heart, right? Like two little butterfly wings. And you connect them and twist them around. And now you have wings and discernment. So open that heart chakra up, because that's where you find the truth within yourselves, right? Buttercups. Not our human heart, not how we feel, and this is how I think, and otherwise da da da, and da 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 da. That's in the left part of the heart. That's like that's why they say left-handed. I'm feeling the energy coming. Yeah. If I think I know, and I'm going by a feeling, that's our right. A feeling is emotion, energy in motion. So mixed with a negative, unknown energy that just travels through. So it's pretty much anonymous, novice, unknown, right? The alien god and right and the silent assassin, or it could be again Adam and Eve, or right coming up through the garden and jumping out. They had to run from the garden. That's our negative thought and feeling that comes out of our temple. Right, our head, right, in the right side of our head, right, temple on either side of our head, the temples, right, on either side of our forehead. So the negative energy travels up our left leg constantly. We're unaware of it. It's a constant electrical charge coming up and through, a negative vibration, right? It mixes with our emotional body, right? We have salt water, like in our stomach, surrounding, right, the intestines, Cthulhu, right, the ocean water, Dead Man's Sea, which is a semiconductor of electricity, right? Our saltwater body, right? The little O, the Omicron. Or the delta, right? The delta is triangular river mouth. I don't want to get all just combobulated now with where we're going. Metaphysics gets crazy. Especially when I'm channeling information and energy. Like we're bouncing all over through dimensions inside and out. That's why anything goes. Have no doubt. Doubt is one of the first enemies. So that energy is constantly traveling through our body. That's also like pyramid. Think of your body like a pyramid, right? Spread your legs apart. That's like having a triangle upside down, right? And then a same above, so below. Hold on one second. What? Drinking my tea. Oh. I'm probably not going to make this too crazy long a video because, yeah, I don't want to overdo my, want to respect my body and get the rest I need so that it can mend and heal and grow where it needs to. So when our body is feeling a little low, right, what do we have to do? We got to take a little more extra care of ourselves, right, which is our feminine energy, right, caring for ourselves. But how often do we give ourselves permission to do that as people, especially men? And most men, I mean, no offense, men, I mean the actual like men, boy, like with anatomy wise, how many do you know that can handle a cold? Okay, because there's many. I love you guys, but you are big babies when you're sick, and big babies when anything is out of your routine that makes you not feel in control. Oh boy, do we know. We love you. We love you though. We love you. The big hugs. But again, right? See how it's like, we love you. We love you. We got to baby them a lot. And then also, if we baby them or say stuff like I just said a lot of the time, then they'll get mad, right? like Cockroach Man from Men in Black. Please like, subscribe, and hit the belly bell tribe. I love you all. We just all messy is the whole fucking thing, right? It's like we are all messy. We're all a fucking mess. So just everybody needs to get over their shit and deal with it, right? On a real. It's like, come on. Big, strong, tough guys. Talking about Titanic. My friend was talking about and I were, he made a reference to Titanic earlier. He's like, wow, what did he say? He's like, you in the water too. He's like, you're just floating on a different piece of wood than I am from the Titanic. I said, fucking right on. I said, don't you let go of your piece of wood. No wood, no fire, motherfucker. Keep swimming. Hang on to that board. So we all got our little piece of wood we're holding on to, right? Because 4114, 4114. Anyway, yeah, the Titanic, right? It hit the iceberg, the elephant in the room. Okay, so now we all have to get right. You want to hang on to your piece of wood, and this is also where, like, right, it's important because, like, as far as this too, right? Let me ask you this question. I'm just trying to, like, the way to put this properly, right? As an example, big difference if someone doesn't have and comes and asks, or if someone has and asks for someone to do something out of the kindness of their heart in a more dominant fashion. So if it's made to look like someone doesn't have what they need, right? Like, do you need some food? Do you need some whatever? Do you need money? You need a place to stay. You don't have clothes. So then you got to go ask somebody, right? Please, sir, I don't have any. Can I please, right? Is a way different. That's right. If I have to ask from that position, now I'm somebody's bitch, pretty much, right? Just energetically speaking, right? This is just energetics I'm speaking of. So that's why it's like a lot of things I say can seem offensive when they come out of my mouth, but it's truly not. It's right. It's fight on words. It's not about the words. The words are just all the language that we use. Most have feelings, right, and experience and a definition attached to. So part of shedding the ego is learning to allow more, or it to be nothing, right? Come into form, right? It not be what you think or thought or felt it was, right? Being able to transmute that, change it, or allow it to show you what it is in its purest form, and then let it go and be, and then bloom into more as time and space go on. And then, right, we'll see. That's how we, right, allow seeds to, right, blend and go with the wind and the waters and the, right, all the other elemental, which again occurs from within, our thoughts and our feelings, right? Feelings are emotion, water, right? Fire, power, passion burns inside, right? Carrying knowledge, right? Knowledge also represents, right, fire. What did Prometheus bring to the humans, right? Fire. Was it this kind of fire? Or did he say certain things to, right, bring human intelligence into questioning, to question themselves, to question the gods, to question everything? Yeah. If one allows fear to prevent oneself from seeing further than the fear they're in, then, right, that's not allowing oneself to grow within their skin. Then you're creating limits. right? As far as, right? And when we're limitless, infinite beings. So who are you, really, who are you then in order to, right? Like to say, oh, that's all it is. So then you're God. Oh, see, this gets tricky. So Prometheus may have brought, right, he's like the variable. So it's like, well, right, well, da da da, which is also like Azazel. That's Azazel too, right? So it's giving the option, like it's like, right, well, there's also this other thing. You could do something real shitty. Yep. And then what are the consequences? So it's right, but this is a learning experience. Right? Have we all learned on some level, right, what that's like? Or sometimes to say something to somebody else that maybe wasn't our place to say. Or, and again, is that right or wrong anyhow? Anyway, it's right or wrong, the person making the decision within. Depends if you're going right in your own vibration or against your own grain, against your own inner knowing within your own skin, right? That's prostitution, right? Holding on to your wood, right? Like that piece of wood float around, got your piece, you gotta hang on to your piece of wood so you stay afloat, right? That's also your plank. That's also, right, your cross, right? Isn't Jesus on a cross? So the cross that we bear, right? You stand with your feet together and your arms out, right? It represents the cross. Feet apart, pyramid, applesauce, pyramid of power. Right? What's Egypt? What do these words mean? Right? What's the metaphysical meaning of the consciousness that developed, right? And with that word, most people think of a specific place. If I say Africa, right? Or like here, we're in Fairfield County, right? There's also Fairfield County, Ohio, and I'm sure a whole shit ton more, right? There's like Fairfield counties galore, right? Different counties, different states that all have the same name or that have been altered. Just trying to get a charge in my phone, and my charger doesn't seem to want to work. It's very frustrating. I don't know what is happening here. So annoying. The testing never ends. This is the end. Come on. Well, I said I wasn't going to be so long anyhow, huh? Maybe it's just forcing me to be a little quicker. So yeah, getting into yeah. Hold on a sec. We're making a, what should we share here, Spirit? Transcendence and eminence. As we let go of the small places we hold so tightly, we are lifted and carried into grace. Yeah, letting go of attachment. Well, here, higher power. Attachment, demon of the crown chakra. This is my Eastern body, Western mind. It's psychology and the chakra system as a path to the self, or as a book I'm looking in presently. And yeah, hold on, I'm going to just read a few little brief things that are standing out to me and share them with you. Through pain and not getting what I want and expect, I learn the most about my attachments and about myself, and thus I can grow. Hell yeah. Right? Through pain and not getting what I want and what I expect is how I learn the most about my attachments and about myself. and thus I can grow. That's crazy. I didn't read that before. And if you want to check out the description, I wrote a little, like a little just few line poem or whatever you want to call that. Universal identity. It's funny. The universe is exactly the way we think it is, and that's why. Because again, right, yeah, the universe is mental. So what we think we are, what I think I am, how I think I am, right? So food for thought, right? Write that down. Food for thought. Write those words down. Thoughts are things, right? Write those words down. My thoughts manifest matter, right? Make. I make with my, right, mind, going through my mind and allowing my thoughts and my feelings to unravel and become pretty much obsolete. It's very difficult to find that clear, right, spot of clarity, but you'll know when you get there. It's unmistakable. And then you know what it's like to be coming from that different place, right? The internal space, the void, right? The black egg, where there's infinite possibilities, infinite, and we're able to just be in that moment and allow things to rise and descend and float around, right? Outside and within. And then we learn the art of detachment, right? And that's how we purify our soul and become, right? Like Bruce Lee said, be like water, right? We learn to let go. You can't swim if you're holding on to a whole bunch of things, right? So these references are right in the mind to relate to the different elementals that we find, right, as we go through the inner journey to self, right, to you, right? So Eastern and Western philosophy come together, right, where East meets West. Forgot, like again, East meets West and North meets South, and that, right, and the small point, the micro and the macro. And it's all of that and none of it, all of it at the same time in the presence of your mind, right? While being grounded, remaining grounded, right? And allowing, right, both sides to come in, different frequencies to travel in and through, right? So that you're able to find the real you. You know who you are in there, right? You got to dig yourself out. It's like, find your little girl. They're hiding under there, under all that rubble. It's like big tornado, big, huge house, right? You dig your child out of there. You are that child that's buried within yourself, fighting to get the fuck out. You can't breathe. Are you going to save your child? That's dying to be born. Right? All right, let's see. Universal identity. There is an unfolding of the one to a condition where it can be known. Unity becomes recognizable. As by Carl Jung. You know Carl Jung, C.G. Jung. Universal nature deposits certain habits of movement, personality, character, faculties, dispositions, tendencies in us, and that is what we usually call ourselves. What is left of ourselves in the midst of all this? Not much, to tell the truth, or everything, according to the level switched on by our consciousness. Yeah. 144. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I don't know about bouncing around, but yeah, this is a page that we're open to, so let's get into it. The universe is exactly the way we think it is, and that's why. Yeah, we read that part. Universal identity. Do I want to read that or the witness? What we seek is the very essence of that which is seeking. Let's see, the witness. I'm going to read this because this is on the witness. Sometimes the consciousness within is referred to as the witness. The witness sits behind our normal activity, watching, without judgment, the changing emotions, the flurry of thoughts, the impulses and attachments. The witness is something above and beyond the body and its experience, beyond memories and dreams, even though it silently observes all these events. The witness may be the sole essence that has lived beyond this lifetime. It may be a divine intelligence that is larger than the self. To become aware of the witness is to become aware of the essence that dwells within. The witness is the core of the self, an indestructible spark of divinity. To embrace the witness is to embrace the underlying reality of our being. The witness can be both objective and subjective. It can detach from the places where we suffer, and it can teach us how to swim in the stream when we are flailing about. The witness is the eternal guide, an invaluable friend, the deep inner awareness of the self. Exercises for embracing the witness are included at the end of this chapter. For now, as you read through the rest of these words and put down the book and go about your life, be aware of the witness inside of you. Just be aware. It's like Jiminy made me think of Jiminy Cricket from Pinocchio, right? And again, right, coming up from, it's like the birth of the second Adam and Eve, right? Where we're going to clean our slate. First, we were born, right, naked of our Adam and Eve mother as far as human life. Now, presently, right, putting on the human perspective, right, again, 2/3. Now we're going through all of those things and just becoming, again, aware of our thoughts, our feelings, right? Intentions. Again, slowing down to allow that divinity, that spark within, right, to be lit again, right? The passion of the Christ. Find your passion inside. That doesn't come from a lustful, glutton nature, or where one thinks, oh yeah, right, like God told me to kill my son. No, that means kill that first negative thought that you're traveling on. Allow more fruit to bear from within your own tree of life, right? Because it's in there, right? Inside. And then you become that phoenix, right? Rebirth of self. And the elephants help in to carry the memories. And don't let that, that's the difference. The elephant in the room is a whole nother, that's the other. The other elephant. The one that's acting all the time. Right. And that's Cthulhu. Don't forget Cthulhu can look like anything. Octopus is camouflage. That's what they do. Number 9. They become invisible and then they pop up like something else every freaking time. So on that note, let's see, do we have any other messages? Like maybe I'm supposed to read more of that book. Bear with me, I apologize. Spiritual discipline, belief systems. This is kind of long. And I would love to share and read it with you, but yeah, my voice ain't gonna let me do that. Belief system. I'm gonna read through a little more of this and yeah, and come back and share. Becoming one with the river. Diving in the river of consciousness. In a world which is creating itself, the idea of divinity does not remain outside, but is embedded in the totality of self-organization dynamics at all levels and in all dimensions. Eric Johnst. Without evolutionary inquiry, we lack a sense of direction. Without mythological inquiry, we lack a sense of systemic existence. Without both, we separate ourselves from the world we live in. That's deep. That's by Eric Johnst, too. Johnst? Johnst? Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. So, yeah, and then again, because I had opened up to Job here, and Job 24, the first thing is why. Seeing, look, is in big capital letters. There's a reason for that. Why seeing times are not hidden from the Almighty. Do they that know him not see his days? That's what I read yesterday. It was like, ooh. Why? Seeing times are not hidden from the Almighty. Right? The Almighty sees all different, how many different timelines and cycles of time. What is time? Right? Times are not hidden from the Almighty. Do they that know him not see his days? 10404. Right? Have they not been written in the stars? Right? 10414. Some remove the landmarks they violently take away flocks and feed thereof. There's like all the black magic that's going on right now, everything, and not just black magic, everything in like all like again dimensions and levels. They drive away the ass of the fatherless. They take the widow's ox for a pledge. They turn the needy out of the way. The poor of the earth hide themselves together. Behold, as wild asses in the desert. Go they forth to their work, rising betimes for a prey. The wilderness yieldeth food for them and for their children. The wilderness. They reap every one his corn in the field, and they gather the vintage of the wicked. They cause the naked to lodge without clothing, that they have no covering in the cold. It's cold as shit today, too. They are wet with the showers of the mountains and embrace the rock for want of a shelter. They pluck the fatherless from the breast and take a pledge of the poor. They cause him to go naked without clothing, and they take away the sheaf from the hungry. Which make oil within their walls, and tread their wine presses, and suffer thirst. Right? They keep trying to pour, right? Pour more blood, turn the wine into blood. Men groan from out of the city, and the soul of the wounded crieth out, yet God layeth not folly to them. They are of those that rebel against the light. They know not the ways thereof, nor abide in the paths thereof. The murderer, this is number 14, 24:14. The murderer rising with the light killeth the poor and needy, and in the night is as a thief. The eye also of the adulterer waiteth for the twilight, saying, no eye shall see me, and disguiseth his face. We were just talking about. In the dark they dig through houses, which, keyword, they had marked for themselves in the daytime. They know not the light. For the morning is to them even as the shadow of death. If one knows them, they are in the terrors of the shadow of death. He is swift as the waters. Their portion is cursed in the earth. He beholdeth not the way of the vineyards. Drought and heat consume the snow waters. So doth the grave those which have sinned. The womb shall forget him. The worm shall feed sweetly on him. He shall be no more remembered, and wickedness shall be broken as a tree. Wow. He evil entreateth the barren that beareth not. Understand that? Right? It's like assholes that are running around pointing fingers and acting all tyrannical and etc. And it goes into many different, right? However this is applying, right? Take what resonates, leave the rest, and it's happening on a grand scale. So microcosmo, macrocosmo, in your personal life, in your personal relationships, and right, however this apply. Let the information come in, let it go. Right? He that beareth not. So he ain't got no good fruit, but they taking it from everybody else, right? And running around, stealing other people's ideas, information, wives, lust. Right? Again, this all come from envy and jealousy. All right, 7 deadly sins. We want to bring balance, period, and put light on what needs to be shown, period. Transparency, clarity, truth, the end. He draweth also the mighty. Oh, wait. He evil entreateth the barren that beareth not, and doeth not good to the widow. He draweth also the mighty with his power. He riseth up, and no man is sure of life. Sound like now? Leviticus. Though it be given him to be in safety, whereon he resteth, yet his eyes are upon their ways. They are exalted for a little while. Keywords 11010. They are exalted for a little while, but are gone and brought low. They are taken out of the way as all other, and cut off as the tops of the ears of corn. And if it be not so now, who will make me a liar, and make my speech nothing worth? That was a question with a question mark. And if it be not so, who will make me a liar, and make my speech nothing worth? Because every word, every thought, every single thing. Then answered, now this is 25 for the short. Then answered Bildad the Shuhite and said, Dominion and fear are with him. He maketh peace in his high places. Is there any number of his armies? And upon whom doth not his light arise? How then can man be justified with God? Or how can he be clean that is born of a woman? Behold, even to the moon, and it shineth not, ye, the stars are not pure in his sight. How much less man, that is a worm, and the Son of Man, which is a worm. Right? How much less man, that is a worm. Right? Is man worth any less than a worm is? And the Son of Man, which is a worm. Right? But Job answered and said, How hast thou helped me that is without power? How savest thou the arm that hath no strength? How hast thou consoled him that hath no wisdom? And how hast thou plentifully declared the thing as it is? To whom hast thou uttered words, and whose spirit came from thee? Dead things are formed from under the waters, and the inhabitants thereof. Hell is naked before him, and destruction hath no covering. He stretcheth out the north over the empty place, and hangeth the earth upon nothing. He bindeth up the waters in his thick clouds, and the cloud is not rent under them. He holdeth back the face of his throne, and spreadeth his cloud upon it. He hath compassed the waters with bounds until the day and night come to an end. The pillars of heaven tremble and are astonished at his reproof. He divideth the sea with his power, and by his understanding he smiteth through the proud. By his spirit he hath garnished the heavens. His hand hath formed the crooked serpent. Lo, these are parts of his ways, but how little a portion is heard of him. But the thunder of his power, who can understand? That is deep, yo. Whoa. My brain just went. Boing. Oh, boing. Let's see. I'm just going to finish reading through chapter 27 because I'm being guided to, and I then think I'm going to hopefully go take a little resty poo. Come on, Charger. Work. Turn to the left. Yay. Okay. Chapter 27, Job. That's deep, huh, guys? Oh my goodness. Moreover, Job continued his parable and said, As God liveth, who hath taken away my judgment, and the Almighty, who hath vexed my soul? All the while my breath is in me, and the Spirit of God is in my nostrils. My lips shall not speak wickedness, nor my tongue utter deceit. God forbid that I should justify you. Till I die, I will not remove mine integrity from me. My righteousness I hold fast, and will not let it go. My heart shall not reproach me so long as I live. Let mine enemy be as the wicked, and he that riseth up against me as the unrighteous. For what is the hope of the hypocrite, though he hath gained, when God taketh away his soul? Oh, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's why it's important to like relate, yeah, because it's like if people are walking around pointing and it's like, we gotta take a look at ourselves within too, because otherwise, right, there's gonna be fingers pointed at you, right? If we're pointing at others, it's like what they say. If you're pointing at somebody else, there's three more pointing back at you. So let's see. Will God hear his cry when trouble cometh upon him? Will he delight himself in the Almighty? Will he always call upon God? I will teach you by the hand of God. That which is with the Almighty will I not conceal. Right, remember too, God's never confusing. So anyone trying to play God or say that, right, like come from that, like, right, the Lord position, the law, trying to act lordly, and right, yeah, they don't, no, they gotta worry about what's going on within them. Big difference, right? With all these men. Okay, and that just can be anybody, woman, female, male, etc. It's an energy coming from within. So, okay, let's see. Behold, all ye yourselves have seen it. Why then are ye thus altogether vain? This is the portion of a wicked man with God, and the heritage of oppressors, which they shall receive of the Almighty. If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widows shall not weep. Wow. Though he heap up silver as the dust, and prepare raiment as the clay, he may prepare it, but the just shall put it on, and the innocent shall divide the silver. He buildeth his house as a moth, and as a booth that the keeper maketh. The rich man shall lie down, but he shall not be gathered. He opened his eyes, and he is not. Ooh. Terrors take hold on him as waters. A tempest stealeth him away in the night. The east wind carrieth him away, and he departeth, and as a storm hurleth him out of his place. For God shall cast upon him, and not spare. He would fain flee out of his hand. Men shall clasp their hands at him, and shall hiss him out of his place. Yeah. Surely there is a vein for the silver, and a place for gold where they refine it. Now we're in 28. He setteth an end to darkness, and searcheth out all perfection. the stones of darkness, and the shadow of death. The flood breaketh out from the inhabitant, even the waters, forgotten of the foot. They are dried up, they are gone away from men. As for the earth, out of it cometh bread, and under it is turned up as it were fire. The stones of it are the place of sapphires, and it hath dust of gold. There is a path which no fowl knoweth, and which the vulture's eye hath not seen. The lion's whelps have not trodden it, nor the fierce lion passed by it. He putteth forth his hand upon the rock. He overturneth the mountains by the roots. He cutteth out rivers among the rocks, and his eye seeth every precious thing. He bindeth the floods from overflowing, and the thing that is hid bringeth he forth to light. Ooh. Wow. I can't believe I'm reading this right now. I hope you guys are enjoying. This is intense, right? Super trigger alerts, but this is all good. It's all in divine time. Oh boy. Thank you, Spirit, for allowing us all to be part of this. Guys, very, very speechless. Wow. And the thing that is hid bringeth he forth to light. But where shall wisdom be found? And where is the place of understanding? That's Job 28:12. Those are two very important questions. But where shall wisdom be found? Is one. And where is the place of understanding? Man knoweth not the price thereof, neither is it found in the land of the living. The depth saith, it is not in me, and the sea saith, it is not with me. It cannot be gotten for gold, neither shall silver be weighed for the price thereof. Exactly. It cannot be valued with the gold of Ophir, Ophir, with the precious onyx or the sapphire. The gold and the crystal cannot equal it, and the exchange of it shall not be for jewels of fine gold. No mention shall be made of coral or of pearls, for the price of wisdom is above rubies. The topaz of Ethiopia shall not equal it, neither shall it be valued with pure gold. Whence then cometh wisdom, and where is the place of understanding? Again, that's now repeating it, and that's in Job 28:20. Seeing it is hid from the eyes of all living, and kept close from the fowls of the air. Destruction and death say, we have heard the fame thereof with our ears. God understandeth the way thereof, and he knoweth the place thereof. For he looketh to the ends of the earth, and seeth under the whole heaven, to make the weight for the winds, and he weigheth the waters by measure. When he made a decree for the rain, and a way for the lightning of the thunder, then did he see it, and declare it. He prepared it, yea, and searched it out. And unto man he said, behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom. and to depart from evil is understanding. And unto man he said, behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding. Okay, so one has to go through those processes in order to gain that perception and right, not be still acting out and living, right, living in that manner. Once we've gone through that process, we're no longer amongst the living in that nature, because we've already killed that part of ourselves. Shall we continue? This is so deep, yos. Ooh. Let thistles grow instead of wheat and cockle instead of barley. The words of Job are ended. Adam, if I covered my transgressions as Adam by hiding mine iniquity in my bosom. Did I fear a great multitude, or did the contempt of families terrify me, that I kept silence and went not out of the door? Oh, that one would hear me. Behold, my desire is that the Almighty would answer me, and that mine adversary had written a book. But I would declare unto him the number of my steps. As a prince would I go near unto him. If my land cry against me, or that the furrows likewise thereof complain, if I have eaten the fruits thereof without money, or have caused the owners thereof to lose their life, let thistles grow instead of wheat, and cockle instead of barley. The words of Job are ended. So wherever, sorry, because I read from the end. And the fatherless hath not eaten their own. Should I keep reading, guys? Oh no, what you thinking? What you think? Kindly like, subscribe. Please subscribe. I'd love to see the numbers of subscribers go up. I've been floating at that number for quite a while. I appreciate it. I got a few new subscribers last week. Thank you so much. I think Moth. Speaking of moth, and I just read about the moth. I do love moths, by the way. Mothman Prophecy. Yeah, so totally, I really appreciate. I got a few new subscribers last week. Thank you. Thumbs up to you too. I really appreciate you. And it's kind of fun. I walk through breakfast. All right, I'm gonna keep reading. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna gotta keep going. I'm gonna keep going. We're almost done. So now Job 29. Moreover, Job continued his parable and said, "Oh, that I were as in the months past! Oh, that I were as in months past, as in the days when God preserved me, when his candle shined upon my head, and when by his light I walked through darkness, as I was in the days of my youth, when the secret of God was upon my tabernacle, right? Written upon your chest. It always is, right? Sometimes we just forget, right? We we go another way, right? Man tries to change his address and think God ain't gonna find him. He thinks if he puts on another outfit, a different skin, that God won't recognize that it's him. Okay. As I was in the days of my youth, when the secret of God was upon my tabernacle, when the Almighty was yet with me, when my children were about me, when I washed my steps with butter, and the rock poured me out rivers of oil. That's an interesting statement. That's Job 29:6. When I washed my steps with butter, that sounds dangerous. Like you want people to, that's like Home Alone. It just made me think Home Alone, trying to keep people off the steps. That's funny shit. Sorry, I don't know. All right, I gotta look into that a little further. When I washed my steps with butter, and the rock poured me out rivers of oil. That's pretty. All right. When I, excuse me, when I went out to the gate through the city, when I prepared my seat in the street, the parade, the young men saw me and hid themselves, and the aged arose and stood up. The princes refrained talking and laid their hands on their mouth. The nobles held their peace, and their tongue cleaved to the roof of their mouth. When the ear heard me, then it blessed me, and when the eye saw me, it gave witness to me. Because I delivered the poor that cried, and the fatherless, and him that had none to help him. And that's like Saint Nick too. And at first, right, people were appreciative. He'd help people, and they'd be appreciative. And then, right, I guess like any maybe king, I'm just getting this a download as I don't know what I'm going to continue to read, but the story I'm getting is, right, someone that was very kingly and gift giving and giving, and then maybe became bitter because he felt people weren't appreciating any longer what he was giving. So then he felt like God turned his back on him, maybe. But it's not always about being able to give other people things to make them praise you, right? It's a nice thing. We all like to be able to help one another, but we can't live that can be it's like a spiritual addiction, or right, being addicted to, right, the like Lucifer there, oh yep. And that's, yeah, like wanting to be high, my Jesus, Esau, don't forget the J silent. Yeah. Let's see. The blessing of him that was ready to perish came upon me, and I caused the widow's heart to sing for joy. The blessing of him that was ready to perish came upon me, and I caused the widow's heart to sing for joy. I put on righteousness, and it clothed me. My judgment was as a robe and a diadem. I was eyes to the blind, and feet was I to the lame. I was a father to the poor, and the cause which I knew not I searched out. And the cause which I knew not I searched out. And I brake the jaws of the wicked, and plucked the spoil out of his teeth. Then I said, I shall die in my nest, and I shall multiply my days as the sand. My root was spread out by the waters, and the dew lay all night upon my branch. My glory was fresh in me, and my bow was renewed in my hand. My glory was fresh in me, and my bow was renewed in my hand. Unto me men gave ear, and waited, and kept silence at my counsel. So very well respected, right? He was like a profiting prophet, someone that was able to share much knowledge and wisdom, and people listen. Someone with confidence, people listen. And but we have to look inside, not keep looking to others to be a king or a man or a pharaoh or look to another man. This is an inside job. I think that's the lesson here within with Job. Let's see. And they waited for me as for the rain, and they opened their mouth wide as for the latter rain. If I laughed on them, they believed it not, and the light of my countenance they cast not down. I chose out their way, and sat chief, and dwelt as a king in the army, as one that comforteth the mourners. Sometimes, though, people will set things up like that on purpose so that they can be, right, the savior. That's that devil's triangle thing we speak of often. And, right, sometimes having to have a villain, something got to be wrong so that somebody can be a hero or a savior. So there has to be a victim, and there has to be a villain, and there has to be something bad, and there has to be something that can get harmed so that people have a cause to fight for it, right? The army, right? I chose out their way. I chose out their way, and sat chief, and dwelt as a king in the army, as one that comforteth the mourners. So absolutely, totally. But we also want to allow, right? That's like melancholy can become melancholy. Fine lines here, right? Emotion is watery substance, so it's very very blendy. It can then cut right where it's my root was spread out by the waters, and the dew lay all night upon my branch, right? His root was spread out by the waters. Let's see, chapter 30. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Ye, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished? For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former time, desolate and waste. Who cut up mallows by the bushes, and juniper roots for their meat? They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in caves of the earth, and in rocks. Among the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. And now am I their song. Ye, or yea, I am their byword. They abhor me, they flee far from me, and spare not to spit in my face. Because he hath loosed my cord, and afflicted me, they have also let loose the bridle before me. Upon my right hand rise the youth, they push away my feet. and they raise up against me the ways of their destruction. They mar my path. They set forward my calamity. They have no helper. They came upon me as a wide breaking in of waters. In the desolation, they rolled themselves upon me, right? Like steamroller, yeah. Invasive. Terrors are turned upon me. They pursue my soul as the wind, and my welfare passeth away as a cloud. And now my soul is poured out upon me. The days of affliction have taken hold upon me. My bones are pierced in me in the night season, and my sinews take no rest. By the great force of my disease is my garment changed. See, interesting. And the elephant in the room, right? And the description is what I'm speaking of: mental and emotional, right? Mental dis-ease, emotional and spiritual dis-ease. By the great force of my disease is my garment changed within our own skin, by our own disease. It is my garment changed. Wait, it bindeth me about as the collar of my throat, of my coat. Jeez, sorry. Same shit. He hath cast me into the mire, and I am become like dust and ashes. I cry unto thee, and thou dost not hear me. I stand up, and thou regardest me not. Thou art become cruel to me. With thy strong hand thou opposest thyself against me. So thou art become cruel to me, our Father who art. Thou liftest me up to the wind. Thou causest me to ride upon it, and dissolvest my substance. For I know that thou wilt bring me to death, and to the house appointed for all living. Howbeit he will not stretch out his hand to the grave, though they cry in his destruction. Did not I weep for him that was in trouble? Was not my soul grieved for the poor? Oh, see, they want attention. Like, didn't I do that? But if they were doing it because they wanted to be acknowledged, then he's not going to listen. Yeah, it's like what your intent is. The intent. When I looked for good, then evil came unto me. And when I waited for light, there came darkness. My bowels boiled and rested not. The days of affliction prevented me. I went mourning without the sun. I stood up and I cried into the congregation. I am a brother to dragons and a companion to owls. Oh, that's beautiful. That's Job 29:29. Oh no, Job 30:29. I am a brother to dragons and a companion to owls. My skin is black upon me, and my bones are burned with heat. My harp also is turned to mourning, and my organ into the voice of them that weep. Yeah. Job chapter 31. I made a covenant with mine eyes. Why then should I think upon a maid? For what portion of God is there from above? And what inheritance of the Almighty from on high? It is not destruction to the wicked. Oh, is it not destruction to the wicked? And a strange punishment to the workers of iniquity? Doth not he see my ways, and count all my steps? If I have walked with vanity, or if my foot hath hasted to deceit, let me be weighed in an even balance, that God may know mine integrity. If my step hath turned out of the way, and mine heart walked after mine eyes, and if any blot hath cleaved to mine hands, then let me sow, and let me another eat. Ye, let my offspring be rooted out. If mine heart have been deceived by a woman, or if I have laid wait at my neighbor's door, then let my wife grind unto another, and let others bow down upon her. For this is a heinous crime, yea, it is an iniquity to be punished by the judges. For it is a fire that consumeth to destruction, and would root out all mine increase. If I did despise the cause of my manservant, or of my maidservant, when they contended with me, what then shall I do when God riseth up? And when he visiteth, what shall I answer him? If I despise the cause of my manservant, or of my maidservant, when they contended with me, what then shall I do when God riseth up? And when he visiteth, what shall I answer him? Did not he that made me in the womb make him? And did not one fashion us in the womb? This again is reminding me of Lucifer, but in a negative perspective, and there's a different, the light and the night, the night side, the night shade that first up, which is then, demon star, Algol, again, number 9, blinking star. Let's see, jealousy. If I have withheld the poor from their desire, or have caused the eyes of the widow to fail, or have eaten my morsel myself alone, and the fatherless hath not eaten thereof. For from my youth he was brought up with me, as with a father, and I have guided her from my mother's womb. That's in parentheses. If I have seen any perish for want of clothing, or any poor without covering, if his loins have not blessed me, and if he were not warmed with the fleece of my sheep, if I have lifted up my hand against the fatherless, when I saw my help in the gate, then let mine arm fall from my shoulder blade, and mine arm be broken from the bone. Interesting, and then that's why. But don't forget too, like these words in the sorry, some of these words. And there's a lot of deceit. Again, number 9, an octopus can disappear and camouflage into anything, and it can also cut an arm off and it grow back. And that arm that was cut off will be a separate entity, but still programmed from the one it came from. Right, replicas. So sometimes just because somebody's like, I would too, blah, 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 careful, because a lot of time they're the ones that, right, that, performing so-called magic tricks. They are. Well, whatever. Let me, oh boy. All right. For destruction from God was a terror to me, and by reason of his highness I could not endure. If I have made gold my hope, or have said to the fine gold, thou art my confidence, if I rejoiced because my wealth was great, and because mine hand had gotten much, If I beheld the sun when it shined, or the moon walking in brightness, and my heart hath been secretly enticed, or my mouth hath kissed my hand, this also were an iniquity, to be punished by the judge, for I should have denied the God that is above. For I should have denied the God that is above. If I rejoiced at the destruction of him that hated me, or lifted up myself when evil found him, right? It's like, yeah, we don't like celebrate when other people like say get their karma or etc. It's like, yeah, no, because then that's not nice. That's pride. Neither have I suffered my mouth to sin by wishing a curse to his soul. If the men of my tabernacle said not, oh, that we had of his flesh, we cannot be satisfied. The stranger did not lodge in the street, but I opened my doors to the traveler. If I covered my transgressions as Adam by hiding mine iniquity in my bosom, did I fear a great multitude, or did the contempt of families terrify me, that I kept silence and went not out of the door? Out of the door, question mark. Oh, that one would hear me. Behold, my desire is that the Almighty would answer me, and that mine adversary had written a book. Surely I would take it upon my shoulder and bind it as a crown to me. I would declare unto him the number of my steps. As a prince would I go near unto him. If my land cry against me, or that the furrows likewise thereof complain, if I have eaten the fruits thereof without money, or have caused the owners thereof to lose their life, let thistles grow instead of wheat, and cockle instead of barley. The words of Job are ended. And that was the end of that. Oh, wait. No. Elihu. Elihu's opinion. So we got way deeper than I thought I was going to get, talking about the elephants in the room. In a dream and a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumbering upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men, and sealeth their instruction. Oh, what am I reading here? Job 33. I shall be of the uprightness of my heart, and my lips shall utter knowledge. True. Spirit of God hath. If thou canst answer me, set thy words in order before me. Is this like gone? So anyhow, crew, wow, Elihu is the next thing I'm gonna get into, but I gotta take a voice break. And I am so, so grateful for you hanging out. I hope that, you enjoyed that. I was a little, we bounced around quite a bit there. But yeah, everything counts. When everything's in the water, there ain't no judgment there. We're just swimming on through, paddling on our piece of wood that we've collected and found and is part of us, right? So we're just gonna keep swimming and moving through, right? Never wake a sleeping dragon or try to steal its gold, right? A fool's gold, the living, again, the disease of the mind, right? There's gold fever, right? The feelings of, again, they're sayings and terms to express, you know, the types of energies that we are living in, right? Are you, what kind of spirit animal can you relate to? What comes naturally? What's coming, you know, if you just sit and meditate and allow, or what are, you know, the animals that generally come through to you, right? And they can differ, you know. Um, I got this one, right? Inner reflection. So thanks so much for coming to hang out. I really appreciate you guys. I would love it if you have not already done so. Please do the bell and like and subscribe, share, and yeah, feel good. Take care of you. I'm gonna go take a nice salty bath and have a nice rest and a nice big cup of tea and take care of me. Make sure you take care of you, because that's what we're here to do. How do we heal? You don't need a booster shot. We need to boosters. We have to boost ourselves up or allow ourselves to rest so that things can mend and grow like they need to naturally. You already know. All right. One love, y'all. Peace out. Mwah. Till the next time. I hope you enjoyed.